Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Toxic Talks. I think episode number 13 now. Absolutely crazy. But we got a lot to talk about, a lot to go over for the past week. So basically, let's start with the obvious throne. Um, we've been getting our main build together pretty decently. We've had to change another couple pieces out, however, but they aren't too terrible. I don't think they're much worse than what I would have gotten. My plan was initially Imperial chest and Imperial boots, but combined, the just those two pieces alone would cost like $500 in lucent value. So I just said no, I'm not going to do that. So I just got the next best thing, and that cost like $5 in lucent value. So and there's not much of a difference. So either we'll stick with what we have right now until new gear comes out, or if the Imperial stuff drops, we'll get that. But either way, we've had to basically downgrade five of the pieces, but three of them aren't too terrible if we're being honest. I think I needed to downgrade the necklace, the bracelet, the cloak. Those aren't too bad though. It's like not much of a difference, but I also had to downgrade again the chest and the boots, but that's basically the progress on that. And we got word that the Burkant set should be coming out sometime in April, so basically we should be all tier 2'd out by like mid to late April. So not too terrible. And we've also sort of started to work on our alt build a little bit. We changed that out this week actually. So we were initially crossbow greatsword, but um, since tier 2 has come out, it's basically gone to absolute shit with all the different balance changes and the new gear. Um, it's not a good alt build anymore. So we traded that out for spear daggers, and we basically went ape shit on that build. And so far, it's looking very promising. The only downside I don't really like about it is it's only melee, but as long as it does damage, we're only here for PVE anyway. It doesn't really matter in the long run. But we're getting there. We're getting there. I think by the end of April, we should have both builds basically done, um, which should be nice. And then we could start saving on Lucent, start saving on all the extra materials because it's been data mined. And I know I've talked about this before, but legendary gear is coming out, maybe not necessarily soon, but in the future. And if T2 is any indicator of how annoyingly difficult it is to get the gear upgraded and all that, um, we're going to need to start prepping. Not now, we're not going to do blessing stacking anymore, that's for sure, but we need to start prepping the materials and hopefully make a ton of lucent in the meantime. So that's basically the plan for that. So once we're done with our build, start stocking up for that. And yeah, we'll see what ends up happening, because again, Night Rain, but I don't know. I've been thinking about Night Rain honestly, and I don't know if it's going to be a game that is necessarily one of those things where it's easy to make content on or easy to even stream. Like I don't think streaming would be too much of a problem, but making like YouTube videos for it might be a little bit of an issue. I wouldn't mind. I'm going to play it if anything off stream, but um just looking at I was looking at Jev's videos on it, and it sort of just looks a like a battle royale. I mean, theoretically I could possibly make oh, this round of Night Rain was really good and we absolutely crushed it, but there wouldn't really be too many guides on it. It's just more so gameplay related kind of thing. But we'll have to see about that if Throne allows me to do it, but I think it will. By that time, we should be able to go through everything pretty easily and won't be too much of a problem. However, in terms of Tarkov, we are still slowly but surely grinding through the Lightkeeper quest line. Currently, and maybe I think maybe two quests away from actually visiting the Lightkeeper and then doing his quest, which his quest, there's only, I believe, two that are really annoying. One of them is getting 15 PMC kills on woods, like right next to the big old mountain, which is going to be a little bit of a pain, but who knows? I have to see specifically where PMCs spawn, or maybe look up a guide on it, because that might be a little bit of an interesting one to say the least. But there's that, and then I believe the other annoying one is going to be the final quest, which is get like 50 PMC kills on streets, which is, I mean, it's not going to be terribly a lot of streets like runs, but it's just more of a time sink, and have to see about that. Have to see about that. But either way, we do want to do the at least the like keeper quest line. We're probably going to end up doing all the quests eventually, slowly but surely, since um it'll allow us to do a lot of different things. But uh in terms of how quickly it's going to be, we might be talking about it for a long time on Toxic Talks, just because I don't get too much time to play solo Tarkov um myself. But at the end of the day, I'm still enjoying solo Tarkov, and eventually we'll have everything. And in terms of Tarkov right now, they are doing an event. I don't know if I'll end up doing it, but I have a video on my watch later on YouTube that says that this is the best event that they've ever done. So I'm going to check that out and see exactly why it's actually really, really good. And if it's good, I might end up holding off on the Lightkeeper quest line for a little bit and attempt to do this event and see why exactly it is anything worth doing. But yeah, that's basically my past week for gaming. In terms of what I wanted to talk about in life, um, some interesting thought hit me this week, and it was, um, when I make it, what do I want to be famous for? Uh, this sort of came up when I was talking with my dad about an approach for how to grow and all that stuff. And we were analyzing other streamers and other YouTubers, and basically um, how all these other content creators got big. And I thought about it to myself, and like, we live in a world where, like, you have to draw someone's attention within the first 30 seconds. And no disrespect to anyone, but we're living in a time of iPad kids and ADHD and all this stuff. And you want to know, like, I don't want to be known for doing something crazy like that basically entertains in terms of like TikTok, where it's like shouting and screaming and trying to be the most crazy individual you possibly can be. I don't want to be known for that. I'm a gamer at heart. If you guys have watched any of my videos or any of my streams, I just love gaming. And you know there's not too many of those content creators out there who truly actually love the art form that is gaming. And that's what I want to be known for. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I know I'm very, very good at video games, and I know people can learn a lot from me and all that stuff. But I I want to be known for basically just the absolute love of video games, and to share that love with other people. And um, how I sort of imagine it is, if any of you have watched the movie Ready Player One, that's sort of the kind of person I want to be, uh like, clearly I'm not the best at one video game or another. Like, if I wanted to, technically speaking, if I just spent all my time on one video game, I don't doubt I could possibly be in the top 10 for any video game that I really wanted to. But for me, it's not necessarily about being the best. Obviously, it's about being good, and most video games I am in the top 1% of gamers. But for me, it's more so just the enjoyment. The 1% is more of a natural occurrence with the amount of video games that I play. But I do want to be known for that basically again just be just be the person from Ready Player One. They're good at what they do, but they're not the best, you know. Um, if I remember correctly from the movie, you have like the two Asian kids who are just like actually mental. They're like killing everybody. I think Show or whatever their names were. And then you had the guy who was Ready Player One, who was good, but he wasn't as good as his friends. And you know, it was just the love of video games that sort of pushed him to basically climb up the leaderboards. You know, but that's basically a thought process I had as I was trying to be like, how do I want to grow and how do I want to be known? And you know, uh, the love of video games. I mean, that's basically why I started content creation to begin with. Is I love video games so much. I was like, hey, well, let's try to make something out of it. And so far, so it's doing pretty good. It's doing pretty good. Can't really complain. And I just want to bring that love to people. But in terms of uh, another thing I wanted to talk about, as you guys know, 2025 has been a very, very rough year for, again, not only myself, but a lot of other people. So, um, just a little, I guess I would say, snippet of advice, if I had to put it. Um, but still going through stuff, still having to solve certain things. Um, but what I will say on this, and it's a sort of a quote I got from the movie The Martian, if anybody has seen it. But basically, a guy got stranded on Mars, and at the end of the movie, uh, he basically is teaching the next group of astronauts, and he basically says the shit's gonna happen when you're out in space, and the only thing you can do is solve one problem at a time until you get back home. And I like that quote because it doesn't necessarily reflect only being an astronaut. It also reflects just being human. You're gonna get problems in life now. Every single year, every single month, every single day, it's going to be different. Sometimes you'll only have one problem. Sometimes you'll have 10 at once. And the one thing that you can do, um, I guess to say, I would say help get through things, or I guess just in general, is solve one problem at a time. You can't solve a million problems at once, but if you solve one problem at a time, that stress of I guess, how would I say it? The stress of being overburdened with everything sort of goes away, I guess. But also it makes it way easier to get through the problems. If you're trying to juggle 10 problems at once, you're never you're never gonna solve all of them. So that's basically how I've been going about my issues in my life. And just to give a little silver lining to you guys, I highly recommend you do it the same way. Solve one problem at a time until you are metaphorically home. But that is all I have for you today for this episode of Toxic Talks. I believe number 13 we're at. Absolutely crazy. Um, I love making these for you guys. I won't lie. Eh, as much as I love making guides and helping people out, sort of this personal interaction is one of my favorites to do. And yeah, it allows me to keep you guys updated on everything in my life. For those who don't necessarily come to stream or even check up, it's very nice to be able to have a personal connection with you guys. But other than that, that is all I have for you guys. So I hope each and every one of you guys has a wonderful, wonderful day. And as always, take care, and I'll talk to you guys later.